I'm Erick Hellwig. Welcome to Podcast Hell. I do have a show in LA coming up on November 18th at the Hollywood Roosevelt. It's called Well Dressed. It's hosted by friend of the podcast, Josh Edelman. You can get tickets at erichellwig.com. I still have tickets available for my headlining spot at the Cellar Door. This is on Sunday, December 17th in Frederick, Maryland. Go to erichellwig.com to grab seats. Give it up for my new sign, courtesy of Radical Neon. But although I don't need to give them credit because I paid full price. Fuck that. I built it myself. Fuck them. No, don't fuck them. They're great. If any of you have podcasts that only your parents listen to and you need a sign for it, you should get these guys right here. And if you're listening to the audio and you don't know what I'm talking about, go to YouTube, subscribe, and check out the podcast there. If you write a comment on my YouTube and you haven't done that before, I'm going to read it on the show. Roblo XTV wrote, "What's cool is that I'm 34 and my oldest son is 16, so he and I can both enjoy new Blink." Lowly8776 wrote, "Bro, for real, I got a kid at 18. Roblo XTV wrote, 17. All right, these guys just need to fucking talk to themselves. Stop dating in my YouTube comments. Hologram Card 3604 wrote, "Blink-182 is my life. I'm 35. My main concerns are Nintendo Switch and fixing cars. I got to shape up, I think." Yeah, you're probably a fuck up, but bro, you're also living the dream, and I'm a little jealous. Rothentoll 4254 writes, "Fun fact, fellow users, don't recommend channel button does exist. Use it." All right, well, good to know my dad is finally on YouTube. We've got this comment, two incels talking about women. Oh, yeah. This guy's calling me and Dylan Fisher incels. Astute. I'm not going to read everybody's comments. It's a bunch of talking about incels. There is some funny shit in there if you want to check it out on YouTube. Astru5499 wrote, "Crying because it's awful." I wrote, "You're incorrect." He wrote back, "You're right, man. I got absolutely ratioed on this cum stain of a short. Apologize for giving you even an ounce of attention." Apology accepted. If you like what I'm doing on the podcast, find your best friend and be like, "Bro," because it's a dude. "Bro, you got to listen to this." Show them the podcast and help them download it, whatever. Maybe they don't know how to use a phone. All right, this has gone long enough. Let's start the show.
Girl, we're about to go somewhere odd now. Times to rise and elevation starts to drop down. Our little secret, don't kiss and tell, you're so bad. I'll probably see you in hell. Welcome to hell, baby. This is Podcast Hell.
No, it was like, do you know Brad Stoll?
No, who's that?
He's a fucking dude. But he's like
podcast dude?
A podcast dude, just a friend.
Yeah.
And he was like, "Why the fuck don't you have video on your podcast?" And was just giving me shit about it for like a year. And eventually I was like, I got a phone. I can just record it that way.
Might as well. Yeah.
Why? Why not? Like, it's not really that much more work. And if somebody does want to go on YouTube, eventually I want people on YouTube to follow me and like do a special and all that shit. So I should probably have video content, right? Like, that's an important part of developing a YouTube following.
You know what? I literally just yesterday was thinking about it. I was like, because I was looking up other comics who drop their specials on YouTube and, of course, have millions of followers and millions of views. And I was like, should I be taking down my old videos that I'm now so much better than? Or, like, do you leave them up just to prove that you had views at some point? Like, I don't know what
How old are they?
A couple years old, but, like...
Yeah.
I don't know from like a marketing standpoint what's better to like take it down and only leave the good stuff, or let someone go down a rabbit hole of like, you know, when you're watching Sam Morril's new stuff, can I go back 5 years and see his old stuff? And I don't know.
Here's the thing. I would love to pontificate about what works, but if it worked, this room would be a lot nicer. Like I don't fucking know what works, and the people that do have very nice looking setups and much easier lives.
I'm trying to follow what's working for everyone, or seems to be working for everyone, and not get too worried about like those little details and let them bog me down, because someone has dialed it in so accurately that to spend the time figuring it out would not behoove me compared to just working on my jokes.
Sure, yeah. Well...
what I try to
that sign
myself.
Right there, which is off screen right now.
It's a great sign. You should see this sign.
I mean, you will.
It's amazing.
They will see it 7 days from now when the next episode comes out.
Great.
I know. I literally told him last episode, I was like, next episode, there's going to be something hanging above my head. I'm like, no. I just I was supposed to
keep listening.
I was supposed to do it last night, and then I just fucking Watch Special Forces.
I think it's more important to have a
Yeah.
life, or in your case, not have
Not
a life.
have a life.
I don't know what Special Forces is.
You don't know what special...
Is that a video game or a
Forces
TV?
are.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. That's what it is. I just watched people join in real... Now, there's a show called Special Forces.
That's not where they do the tasks, and they're like a celebrity, though.
Yes.
Oh, I've seen the billboard.
It's fucking cool. I mean, here's the thing. I'm not a big reality guy, but apparently I am, because I can't fucking stop. And I'm watching, like, Tara Reid try to, like, walk across a dam.
Are you just rooting for them to fail?
No, because, like, honestly, like, I don't follow any of that shit, so I don't even know they're celebrities. Like, they're like, Hannah Brown from The Bachelor. I'm like, I'd never watched those shows. I don't know who they are. So I'm just watching it being like, oh, yeah, the chick and the old dude that used to... I mean, I know all the sports guys.
Yeah.
Like, I know Mike Piazza.
Sure. Who doesn't know Mike Piazza?
Do you know Mike Piazza?
No.
You don't know Mike Piazza? Well,
No.
you don't know sports. I mean, do you know sports?
No.
If you knew... here's the thing. I wasn't gender stereotyping.
I didn't think you were.
Yes, it's because
He's reading the blank expression on my face.
Mike Piazza is like the greatest hitting catcher of all time in baseball history. There you go. You got it.
You said catchers. I was like, context clues.
Is there another... I'm trying to think if there's another...
Gay porn?
Yeah. That's a kind of
That's
sport,
a sport.
I suppose.
It's pretty athletic.
Yeah, but there's no, like, stats.
There should be.
I guess if there are...
That's your next bit.
It's like, I don't know if you want to be a 3,000 hit leader and fucking
I don't know.
gay
He
sex.
chokes every time.
But that's a good thing. He's like one of the greats. Gays
Okay.
like... I'm sure gay dudes like that, too.
What?
Choking. Right? Like that's,
It's always a sign of respect.
I don't know. I don't know what gay dudes are into. I don't know if it's like the same thing straight dudes are into but gay, or if it's like complete. Like I remember I did an episode. I've talked about this for all the thousands of people who are hearing this story.
Yeah, millions.
For another time. I did a podcast where I like wasn't wearing socks and I put my feet up, and then I was like, wait, no, people are gonna jerk off to it.
Yeah.
But then I was like, well, no one jerks off to dudes' feet. They
How
jerk
do you
off to
know?
women's feet. And then I was like, well, no, maybe gay dudes. But I was like,
If someone's thought of it, someone's done it. That's
Yeah.
the way I feel about Human Centipede. That's why anytime someone says, why are you scared of that scary movie? You're creeped out. I'm like, because some gross screenwriter wrote it,
Yeah.
which means at least 1,000 people have had that thought in their head before it went to screen.
to knock out two people's teeth and attach them to an anus. And
Yeah. I didn't even know the teeth part was part of it.
yeah, it's pretty rough. It's not fun.
I wouldn't imagine teeth or no. I wouldn't imagine.
No, I mean, I'm not saying I'm saying like even, I don't get into horror movies. I don't know if you do, but like, some people are like, ooh, yeah, they like the feeling of the grossness
Right.
or watching people suffer on, like, I just can't fucking do it. It lingers with me for
yeah.
like months afterwards.
I was a huge horror buff, not in terms of like knowing a ton of stuff, but like
Yeah.
as a kid would go with friends to like take a giant section of Hollywood videos, inventory of worst D horror movies and just marathon watch them. And I loved that creepy factor. And then I think I just got older and realized there's too much of it in real life that I didn't want to manufacture it for myself.
Yeah, there's too many real life human centipedes to enjoy a false one.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think it's a real thing.
That someone's actually done it?
No. You would fucking die like right away. You can't eat shit and live. There's no way. There's no way the person who made that movie like sat down with doctors and was like, now listen, if I were to eat shit,
That's right.
how long? I actually, I can't say who. I know a guy that auditioned for it.
Do I know this guy?
No, you don't know
Okay.
him. This is a guy in New York. But
Really?
he told me the story of auditioning, and he was like, it was the creepiest audition he'd ever been on.
And I wonder even what the working title was at that point, because it's not like you, in retrospect, if you were like, oh, this is Human Centipede,
Yeah.
I know what I'm auditioning for, I know what I'm into. But at that time, you're just seeing a script with like a breakdown of like creepy looking guy who likes to stitch people together.
So he said, it was like an untitled project. But then it said parentheses surviving on poop. No. It was
I was like, that's a cleaned up version.
it was an untitled project. and his size had nothing to do with that part. But then, like, he did well, and they wanted to call him back, and his agent was like, we have to tell you what the movie's about. And he was like, fuck no.
As in the agent beforehand knew, but
I don't know. I mean, probably, because they're fucking agents, but like...
That sounds like what you do with kids on set when you can't tell them the scene's really about the dog dying, and you're just like, let's make you cry, but we won't tell you why.
Is that what they do?
I think, well, yeah. Yeah, but like to protect kids, like you don't tell them what the subject matter is if it's something really fucked up.
But then after the shoot, you go do coke with Drew Barrymore when she's 8.
Yeah.
But you don't tell her that the dog died.
No, double standard. That would cross the line, Eric. Do you know nothing about Hollywood? How long have you been here?
I am so not in the fucking loop of that stuff.
You don't act in addition to stand up?
I mean, I did in New York. I was like acting a ton. Like I was in commercial. I used to make my money doing commercials.
Really?
But I just fucking like got a little tired of it.
Yeah.
And also like when I moved out here, I was with Abrams, and they were like, "Oh, we'll put you up with Abrams in L.A." And I came in, and they were just like, "No." They were like a hard pass.
What?
And
even for commercial, which you have such a great like sports bro look.
Even for commercial, and like I would literally been like, I booked 4 national commercials in the last year. Like I had all that stuff, and they were like, "Yeah, we're filled up." And I was like, "Okay." And then I just was like, I moved out to LA. I wanted to focus on other stuff anyway, and I hate that we're talking about career stuff, but it doesn't matter. It's not your fault. But anyway, I just like decided not to pursue it.
Yeah.
But now I do have a commercial agent.
Tell me something else there is.
No, let's talk more.
About.
No. I did a shitty thing where I was like, I brought something up, and I'm like, I don't feel good that we're talking about.
I know how annoying it would be that we like turn everything to career, but at the same time, like it is our lives, and maybe it's just me reckoning with this lately. But it's like I used to be a little ashamed of my work being my life, but now I'm like, we pay so much and grind so hard to live in the place of opportunity. Like, if we're not making it a priority or like wanting to pontificate about our careers, like
what the fuck else?
What are we doing?
We have nothing else to talk about. This is all.
Oh, you mean you can't put me in your pilot episode? See ya, I'm out. That's what I'm here for.
What can I get out of this interaction with a person? Well, I don't know. With stand up, I feel like I'm getting better at that because I was thinking that way for a while out here. Of like, I'd be on stage being like, "Who's in the room? Who, if they see me do well?" And like, I'm trying to be like, there's an audience of people who paid. Maybe they got a babysitter if it's not a bar show. Yeah. And like, obviously bar shows, everybody there is has no kids. But if it's a real show, I'm trying to like love on the audience more.
I love
and like focus on that, and then whatever comes after that is fine. But like, I don't know. I'm reckoning with like I'm 38, and I'm like I don't know how much longer I have to fucking push. So I'm like I want to at least enjoy the last couple years I'm doing this if I'm going to be doing it.
Yeah,
and not just stressing about shit that's kind of out of your control.
Totally. But also with that, I feel like that step takes some humility to be like, this is of service to the audience. It's not about me. I mean, like it is about you literally as the material you're telling, but like you giving it to them to enjoy rather than worrying about how it makes you look and your success.
Yeah, that was like kind of like I don't know. You watch that Housin Minaj stuff?
But
yeah, where he was like making shit up. Mm-hmm. Where it's like, yeah, I guess like in my head I'm like, yeah, if I'm making stuff up, like I'm usually making myself worse so that like the story's funnier. I'm not like. It's more for them to be able to relate to it and like not like it's more fun if I'm the fucked up person than if like in real life I was actually telling my wife she was wrong. Like nobody fucking wants to hear that shit. Like I want to be the asshole in every situation on stage, but like I don't know. I'm having more fun doing stand up than I was before.
Good.
Because of that.
Because you've let it go a little bit.
Yeah, because I'm giving up.
Pretty much. When you closed out the improv mic, that had to be a record for getting the last spot of the mic weeks in a row.
Maxi, don't tell them about a time I did well on stage.
This guy crushed on the main stage, granted during a mic, not a show, but he would have crushed during a show.
I would have.
But that's the hardest spot because that's essentially the spot where it's like in class when everyone's zipping up their backpacks before the bell rings. It's like everyone's ready to be out of there, and you held your ground, held your confidence, had a fuck it attitude. And like anyone who comes to that mic and is like, it's my first time, what should I do? And I'm like, just put your fucking armor on. Don't let them see you sweat. Don't even worry if you're funny. Just don't show them that you know you're not. If that happens, just pretend you're the funniest fucking guy and leave a minute on the timer and go.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out.
Just fucking act like you nailed it.
Yeah.
No matter what
enough
you did.
of them do.
Yeah, that seems to work. Like it's like a line in Bull Durham where they're a sports movie, sorry. But there's a line in Bull Durham where they go, the world is built for people who lack self-awareness. It's like, just pretend to not notice that you're bombing, and people will be like, well, he seems to think he did pretty well. I guess I'm going to sign him. Or like whatever.
This is something we can learn from all the guys who have way too much self-confidence. Might as well. Why not?
You've already set yourself apart by texting me an ETA for when you were going to be here. I mean, I've had so many comics on the podcast where I'm like 50-50 they're not dead in a ditch by the time we start shooting.
Because they're late and you're waiting?
To send me an exact ETA, you're like 4:02. I was blown away by that.
I could have stretched it. I could have been like, you know what, 4:15, go and get a milkshake. And be like...
I needed the extra 6 minutes help because I moved. This is boring talk, but I needed to move you up 30 minutes because I had my personal trainer made space for me.
Tell me about that. When did you start personal training?
Well, I started
personal training.
I started
Weird inflection.
Personal training. I started 8 months ago.
And what I love about that is it could imply that you either are being trained or are the trainer.
Well, I'm definitely not the trainer, but I appreciate that. No, I'm being personally trained.
Cool.
Yes.
Did you find someone you like? Whether they referred to you?
No, I just went to LA Fitness, and they were like, here's a guy on staff, and he's fine. But then... I had to leave, and so I kind of like fell out. I didn't fall out with that guy, but just like our schedule stopped matching up. And when I came back, there was this new guy working there. He speaks like 10 words of English. He looks like Schwarzenegger, and it's very motivating.
Yeah.
He'll just be like, go. You do this. Boom. Boom. Like he just says boom when I'm working out, and then he doesn't. Like, I can't charm him because he doesn't speak English. It's just like, it's very helpful to just be like, come in, work your ass off, you're out in 30 minutes or an hour, depending on what I book. But it's like the last 3 weeks I've been working with that guy, and I'm like, oh yeah, I might even just hire him outside of LA Fitness.
Because in terms of charm, like, so you admit to doing that too, because I have plenty of clients where like they just talk themselves out of workout time, and in my head I'm like, you wanted this.
Yeah, you came here. Yeah, exactly.
But you're chattering.
And I also can't help it. Like, I'm like, that's like my personality. So I'm like, oh, I do like talking to this person. They have to listen. And I don't have to. It's not as painful. I only get 3 exercises instead of 4. But like with this guy, there's really none of that. Like, I have to actually do the work. And he's also like... I mean, what I like about it is it's kind of old school. Like when I was in high school, I actually lifted and was on a rowing crew team. And so like we would lift. And like this other guy, I was like, I need to work on my core and my cardio. I'd like to trim down. This guy's like chest, back, shoulders, go. And I'm like, I can't even grip the weights at a certain point. He's like, I'll get you chalk. I'm like, I'm going to chalk up before work. I'm like, it's getting me fucking pumped to go back.
Yeah.
Because I feel like already I'm benching like 20 pounds more than I was with the other dude. I don't think the other dude who fucking cares? In my head, I'm like, they're both watching this together. Like, because they work at the same place, but they're not watching it at all.
I love that stoic guy though, because then it's like, oh, you believe I can do it. You don't have to say a word. I'm going to do this for you.
So you're a personal trainer.
I'm a spin instructor, and I've personal trained very lightly. And I say that in case there's any assholes listening who are really good certified personal trainers.
And you don't want to
like, don't sully the name. I can tell people what to do and try to keep their form safe. That's about it.
You don't think you're like motivating them or yelling at them or being like, quit being a pussy, stuff like that.
You know, like, I guess maybe it's because I was pushed so hard in training growing up that like now I'm cognizant of, and I had to learn this at the gym that I work at, of like customer service or tutoring or anything you're doing. When they're adults bringing you their money to spend, they want to have a good time to some extent. So like I can push, but only so far. I still have to leave them feeling good. So like sometimes I'll make it sound like the workout is harder than it is. Spoiler alert. So that they leave feeling satisfied. And like I know they could have pushed it way more, but it's like, if they don't want to be honest, if it's someone who comes to me as like, I want to train because I want to accomplish this, maybe I'll push them harder because they're being realistic with themselves. But if someone's like coming to me with like a Zumba attitude of like, I just want to get a little sweat on and then like go eat 10 bagels and I'm not sure why I'm not accomplishing my goals, I don't know necessarily when it's okay to have that conversation of like, you have to tell me I can be that honest with you.
Yeah.
Because I'm not going to lose the studio a customer. Shit, this is so bad. This is so much inside baseball.
It's honestly, who gives a fuck?
It's like sports anti-psychology.
I find it fascinating. I mean, this guy that I'm working with now is like, I love that he said this. He goes, how is your diet? And I just went, not good. And he went, and he goes, change it. That's all he said. And I came home and I was like, we need to buy more vegetables. I had a long talk with my personal trainer.
In depth.
He broke it down for me. All the food groups. No, he just said,
Stop
change
talking
it.
around it.
Yeah, just change it. And it really is like, everything that they would ever say to me, I know because I used to be an athlete in high school and I did it.
Yeah.
So it's not like, oh, geez, now that I'm 38, like, I have the thyroid problem. It's like, none of that shit matters. I can't eat candy. Yep. Like, that's actually, like, I sometimes eat Mike and Ike's like it's heroin. Like, I just eat it, like, outside. I can't even take it home. I have to eat it outside of the fucking gas station. That's the problem. I have to stop doing that. And like,
but you know it, and you're not lying to yourself.
It's like I do it at my job. I do sales, and it's like I'm trying to get these general contract. Well, fuck it. I won't say the company name.
Cool.
But I try to get these general contractors to like improve their business, and the first step is them admitting that there's an issue with their business. Like they have to say like, I don't have enough clients, or my estimates take 5 hours and it's killing me. Like as soon as they say that, I can go, okay, great.
Do you help them identify those things?
Yeah, I manipulate them like a fucking psychopath, and I find ways to get into like the sad part of what's going on. And it's called you find the pain, and then you just like hit. Like, you just remind them with little things every 10 minutes, like, oh, yeah, that little thing you told me, it's just like a pinprick, but you keep them coming back to why they're even talking to you. And then when you get to the sales, the part where it's like, shit or get off the pot, you're like, look, man, can I level with you? You're either going to save 10 hours a week or you're not, or you're either going to take your wife on this vacation or you're not. Like, you got to make a change. This is the change.
How
are we doing business?
Learn that, or like perfect your method, or
it's just being is that the dog? I'm gonna let the dog in. Is that okay?
Sure.
I won't cut. So this will all stay in the pot.
Yes, you can see me freak out over a dog.
Gordon, come in.
Yay! Gordon! Hi, puppy. You're the sweetest, the prettiest color. You can't see him, but he is delicious.
I think they can see him, actually. I think they can see like to right here, so they might be able to get a little Gordon action.
Get a little bit. If you tell me if I'm nerding out too much on this, but to me it's fascinating because it fascinates me what motivates people because. Like, I'll go home to my first riding barn before I got competitive, and I'll see my trainer working with kids who are, like, not planning on doing much with it. They're not, like, trying to compete or be competitive, and their parents just kind of, like, want them to have something wholesome to do. And it's great for them to learn, but, like, she can only push them so far because if the kid doesn't want to do it themselves, then, like, at some point, if she makes it too difficult, they'll give up. She has to keep it fun for them. And I guess I'm just curious the difference between like, are you planning on having kids?
Yeah.
That scares me about the thought of having a kid that you're like, I want you to be happy no matter what, not push them to become psychopaths and accomplishment oriented. But also, I think I'd be really disappointed looking at a kid being like, how do I make you want something? How do I make you work for it or like really want it? I think that would disappoint me, honestly, if they didn't, but it's not something you can force on someone.
Well, my dad forced it on us.
Sports or?
Well, sports, but also like I think he raised me and my brother different than he raised my sisters. But like he would kind of concoct like lessons for me and my brother. I've told this on the pod before, but like I remember when I might have been 10 or 11 when I lived in Jersey. He was in the Army, so we moved around a lot. But I was 11. My brother was 7. Oh, no, he was 6 because he's 5 years younger than me. That makes the story crazier. So he would take us on a run. And we'd go 2.5 miles out, 2 miles back. And it was on a
Your 6-year-old brother was running.
My 6-year-old brother's an athlete, by the way, so he could handle it at 6. But yeah, that's why I'm saying it's crazy. He was a little kid. Maybe I was like 12 and he was 7.
You too, though. That's still very
It's very young.
For
the run was fine.
Yeah.
The run was just like we were on a jog, right? Okay. And then this one time we go out on the run. We're on a bike path, so we get to the 2.5 mile marker. And he's like, let's go a little bit further. And we keep going, 3, 3.5, 4. Eventually, we're 5 miles out. Me and my brother are like crying. We're like, we have fucking 5 miles back.
To go back.
I'm literally carrying my brother. Like as we come across like around a bend, my mom was waiting with the car at the 5 mile mark. And we get in the car, we're like, like just crying.
So relieved that she was there.
And then my dad goes, you ran the same distance today that you ran every other day, but you psyched yourself out thinking about the run back. Never save anything for the run back. Oh, and that was like just fucking seared into like my core. Like I will never forget that feeling.
He pre-planned that though. Yeah. He woke up like boys need to know this.
He's done many things like that. Wow. Where it was just like he wanted to. I mean, he's also like that was his thing. He was a military, like he was an instructor. He like did ROTC training and stuff. So he did that with me and my brother growing up.
Wouldn't the more prudent lesson be to save something for the way back?
Well, look, it's honestly, it's why like Liz will be like, my wife will be. She's like, did you stay up till 4 a.m. editing podcast clips last night? I'm like, you never save anything for the... I'm like passing out at work. But
next day be damned.
No, it is a problem. Actually, God damn it, I'll bleep it out. 26 minutes. My personal...
25.
My personal trainer, beep, he said... Because I went in last Tuesday and he was like... I couldn't lift. I was like, I did all this weight last time. I don't know what's wrong. He's like, well, I was like, did you drink water today? Are you dehydrated? Was it salt? I'm like, I don't know what it is, man. I'm just like, maybe we just do like a lighter day. And then at the end, he's like, how much did you sleep? I was like, I slept for 90 minutes. I stayed up till 4:30 and I start work at 6. And he's like, yeah, you can't do that and then come do personal training afterwards. Maybe don't come in on Tuesdays. I was like, oh, okay, good. I told him, I was like, every Monday night I edit a thing for a Tuesday release. Don't knock it over, dude. He doesn't understand what that means.
I like that.
Gordon, come here. Gordon, come here. Every fucking episode at like 30 minutes, like I'm watching it and I see the camera go like that. It's because he's fucking...
It's pretty much at 30 minutes.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Hey, bud.
No, so like, it's probably not the best lesson.
I mean, I understand as far as effort, when you know there's a car waiting for you, spend it all. But when you think you might have to carry your ass home, save a little in the tank.
A little bit. It's also the exact ending of the movie Gattaca, which I only saw a couple years ago.
Okay.
That exact thing happens at the end.
Oh, really?
Yes. They're swimming.
The lesson part the saving? Okay.
Like, to the word. Like, the line is like, I didn't save anything for the swim back. He carries his brother back. So I think my dad was just watching movies from the 90s and being like, they'll teach.
He's watching Air Bud, like, leave him with a pudding cup.
It's like, oh, man. My whole childhood is based off of a fun scene from Dunstan Checks In. I have no fucking idea. I don't know. Do you feel like you are? You're like a highly motivated person. I feel. I don't know. You seem like you are. Am I wrong?
I have to really set myself up for it. I know inherently what my self-sabotaging measures are, so I have to like put measures in place to get around them, I guess. I'm not like a naturally, if I want to let myself go down a rabbit hole and like spiral downwards, it can happen real easily.
Yeah. Like depression and stuff? Or? Depression
and lack of motivation. So like I'd say consistency is key to me. Like I try not to, I actually don't push myself too hard anymore. I recognize now when I'm like not the same as I was in my 20s or my teens where I could just like go through a brick wall. Now I know I got to be a little softer with myself. Yeah,
well, that's good, I guess, to adjust.
I don't think your trainer would like it. Let's go.
It's funny. My wife was like, "Are you worried you're going to get hurt with this new trainer?" And I'm like, "Now I am."
Now that you said it.
Now that you said that, I'm like, yeah, I will 100% be injured very soon.
What made you? Sorry, go ahead.
No, I don't know. What were you going to say?
What motivated? What made you decide to start working with a trainer?
I just gained a ton of weight. I found out I have celiac disease a couple years ago.
Oh,
do you know that one?
It's where you have to eat gluten free.
Yeah, it's like yes. I hate because it's like when you say I have to
simplify it.
No, because you're right, but it's like it also mixes me in with a bunch of people who are like, I have a shoot next week, so I'm going gluten free.
I'm gonna be puffy.
Yeah, this is like, no, I'll die if I fucking eat a wheat thin. So I have to be. It's like I have to like ask the chef about the knives they're using in the kitchen. It's like more serious.
Yeah,
it's a disease technically. So when I got that, I was like, because I had gained a lot of weight. That was right around COVID or a little bit after. So I was just like, it's time to like fucking like just make a change and get back to where I used to be. Also on this podcast, they've heard me saying this for a year and a half.
What?
That I need to make a change. Every week I'm like, this is the week, guys.
But you did what you did to your clients. You're like, you got to make a change to see a change, and you're doing it.
You just have to like fucking do it. And like, I think that's what I like about this Luca guy. It's almost taking me back to like my childhood a little bit. He's my dad. You know, and sometimes when I'm working out, I say, "Am I doing good, Dad?" And he goes, "What?"
Love me.
Sometimes I give him a hug after I do.
Sometimes I just
bicep
cry
curls.
and gently lean into his shoulder.
No, it is like, because I don't know. I grew up military family. Like that's the mentality. It's like you just fucking do it.
Yeah,
and like it doesn't matter how you feel about doing it. You just make it happen. So it is kind of like, I don't know, whatever works. I don't think the flowery language works for me.
Yeah.
Like, how do you, like, I went to therapy for a little bit. Mm-hmm. It's fine. It's good.
Like, for like 20 minutes.
No, I went for years. Like, I did my time. I paid my dues listening to a therapist and whatever. It's fine. Like, I do think it's valuable and I'll probably go back at some point. Next time I have a big fight with my wife, I'll be right back in there.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened. I thought I was fixed. No, but like at a certain point, I was like, I'm just making the therapist like me. I'm just like,
you know yourself too well.
Yeah, and like
it was your own tricks.
It was two like women. Like I had a male therapist in New York, and that was easier because like I'm not like gonna flirt with him. And that sounds weird to say because like my two therapists here were like old ladies, but I was still finding myself being like, so how long have you been a therapist? And they're like, dude, shut up. We're here to talk about your dad. So like
they knew exactly what you were up to.
I don't think they did. I think damn.
I hate that though. I hate when I feel like I can snow someone because then it just lets me down. I'm like, I really needed you to see who I am, and instead you're letting my tricks like take over you.
If I ever went back to therapy, I think I'd have to be like, it's got to be a dude, and I got to tell the guy like, I will still try to find a way to charm you to not really talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
So like, you got to see through my bullshit. Like I'm a charismatic person. That sounds shitty to say, but it's true. Like I can fucking
That's so
not
walk to
do the
remember.
work.
You gotta promise not to fall in love with me. He's like, trust me, not an issue.
That is the douchiest thing to say, but it's true. I don't know. Like, anyway, the point is in therapy, it felt very at the end like I had to be like, stop calling me brave. I've never taken a hill. I'm not dying for anybody. Like, there are many brave things that have happened in the world. I'm sure I'm a good guy, but like, you got to stop with the fucking flowery I can't handle it.
Yeah.
But I need a guy to just tell me a declarative sentence with a dead look in his eye and be like, that helps. That's what I need, I think. You know?
Just give them a platter of like, this is me. This is how I like to be. It's like your medical card. Just on a tag to hand them.
Yeah, exactly.
You made me think of something and I forgot. I was still stuck on A Walk to Remember and watching it with my mom. That ruined.
Is that the one where
Mandy Moore?
Wait, spoiler alert. Because there are some people that in the comments that have been saying they're going to be watching A Walk to Remember soon. She dies, right?
She dies, but at the point where she's like, I have to tell you something. And my mom just out loud goes, oh, great, she's pregnant. And it's like, she has cancer, Mom.
Is your mom like, what's your mom's personality? Is she just like a fucking throw it out there lady?
As far as like the ruining the movie?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, well, she was probably like slut shaming this girl who in the movie is like won't, like she's known as being like the prudish Christian girl and like preacher's daughter or whatever. So of course, even her, my mom was like, slut.
Who's the guy in that movie?
Shane West?
I don't even know who that is.
He was the bad boy of the 90s, and now I think he has a band because I've seen a couple like Shane sightings on the strip. But
wait, you seen him?
Yeah,
he's around.
He's around. I went to the Ataris like a year or two ago with my bandmate Mick, and I swear we saw his band open for them because we're looking at him. I'm like, I can't believe my eyes.
Him.
It's him. It's really him. It's like,
are you booking like legit gigs with your band?
Not anymore. Everyone has their own thoughts on this, but like, where are you on spreading yourself sideways versus that's spread yourself?
Where are you on
being well-rounded versus just drill into one?
No, look. You asked why I'm not doing commercials. That's the exact. I don't have enough energy for some things.
That took up your bandwidth. It wasn't worth the occasional audition and shoot.
There's a yes, exactly.
Because I believe you in that, but
exactly.
I'm testing your response to hear what you say to that.
I have I won't talk about it because I technically do have a commercial agent right now, but like, yeah, when I get auditions, I'm like, that's gonna take 2 hours. I could cut another clip. I'd rather get 7 more subscribers on my fucking YouTube page than go in for a commercial for Jif that's going to pay $6,000 if I book it, and it's going to be a call. Like, especially like once they start doing the self tape, I was like, I'm fucking done. When I lived in New York and I was like already out and about, get an audition, hop on the subway,
walk right in,
do other shit as I'm waiting, like that was fucking perfect for me. I don't want to fucking my wife ex. I watch her do it. She's like, "Can you look at this tape one more time?" I'm like, I don't like that. I don't like that feeling.
Yeah,
I don't have it in me. So anyway, like, you have to choose because there are no. So this isn't me. This is a. As I slowly become more conservative, which is the most horrifying thing that could happen. There's this guy Thomas Sowell who says there are no solutions, just trade-offs. And that's very true because it's not like it's not like I truly hate acting, but I'm like, if I stop doing that, I can focus on this other stuff. It's a trade-off. But the benefits outweigh the whatever over here. Yeah. And that sounds like that's what's happening with your band. It's just
the trade-off of time. And I know that it takes a significant amount of my time, even just to barely get by with the bare minimum. It's still a chunk of my time, and I love doing it, but I don't have more hours in a day and I just can't do everything. So yeah, the trade-off I think is that key point where it's like, it's not that I'm failing. It's just literally you can't cram 4 hours worth of work into 2 for the stand-up and the acting and the music and then the marketing of yourself and all of those areas and blah, 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 blah. And then
you have a day job too?
I'm pretty unemployed, but I work to support myself in fitness and teaching stand-up and stuff. So yeah, I keep having these nightmares where I'm like 20 years down the road, and it's funny to call it a nightmare because in it I'm successful in stand-up, but I'm chatting with someone who's successful in music, and we're like comparing notes on why we chose the path we did, and I keep being like waking up like, does that mean I chose wrong or that I chose right?
That's your dream?
It's fucking weird.
Is it a recurring dream?
Kind of, yeah.
Well, what's funny about that is like usually dreams are like there's metaphors.
Yeah.
Your dream is the exact thing that's happening. You're just like, what does it mean when a future version of yourself walking a different path? It means you're worried about the path you're choosing. It's the exact thing.
It's literally what's happening. But
what does it mean in my dream where I'm a gay dude and I can't stop having gay sex?
I keep putting But like, how stupid to be like, oh, I'm so worried I'm going to be successful in my chosen area, because it definitely means if I hadn't done that I would be successful in this other total pipe dream. It's like I need to just be super grateful anything is happening right now and just.
Yeah, you should probably
leave it.
You should probably give up the pipe dream of music for the secure, easy career of acting and stand-up.
Yeah, that's right.
Where you can really move up in an organized way.
All your effort gets rewarded with output.
Yeah, absolutely. That's so fucking funny.
I'm so glad you're still here doing it. Like, you're someone I've always just on the scene looked up to as super funny, but also just established to me. It seems like
you're talking about me.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I thought you were. I was like, is there someone fucking else? Who are you talking about?
No, I think about like showing up a couple years ago now to a Fourth Wall show and you being on the lineup. Actually, it might have just been like a roast of a friend. I'm not even sure. But being like, oh, Erick's a name on the lineup that I know to look forward to, even though I've never seen him and I don't know who he is, but you're just like someone I know in comedy to count on for being the comedian.
That's such a great compliment. I really appreciate that. Because I don't know, like, yeah, I'm joking about quitting. I don't think I'll ever stop doing comedy, but like the thing I would do is like we'd move back to the East Coast and I have a day job now. I would do that, and comedy would become more of a hobby and less of a how do I find a way to make it my thing.
Yeah.
And like, I think the thing I tell myself is I'm pretty sure I'm good at it at least. Like maybe I didn't get the career stuff I wanted out of it, but I did get good at a really hard thing. And I still remember the version of me that would just eat shit at mics when I was 27, when I was starting the stand-up portion of, I used to do improv before that. But like, to just be good at it means a lot. And I feel like, I don't know, that's a very nice compliment. I really appreciate that.
Do you feel like there's, and I don't want to get too deep into it if it means like revealing names by accident, but like the accessibility of stand-up to so many people now that are we settling for less good? Like, I mean, I want to say the cream rises to the top, but like, do you ever feel like, oh, I could get away with being 75% as good, so I don't need to kill myself trying to be great. Might as well be a little less good and then go, edit some clips or do something else. I don't
really feel that way. I kind of like that. I know a lot of people get annoyed at mics where it's just like 7 comics in a row go, so it's my first time. And they're like, get the fuck off the stage. And like my mentality with it is like, if you're doing stand up, you're a comic. Like, nice. I'm not going to give people advice on how to be funny, but like, I'll give people advice on the discipline of like, if you really want to try it, you need to do multiple mics a day for a couple months and really just, it's nice to have a friend group, but if you're going to do this, you're going to do it alone. And you need to embrace that that's what it is. So just go do it alone for a couple months and see if you throw yourself under a bus. So like I like giving people like that kind of advice.
Yeah.
So I don't mind that there's more people doing it. I think the hard thing for me is just like it feels like it's harder than ever to make money doing it. And like even when you like I'll start to like have a couple gigs where I'm getting paid on the road doing 40 or 50 minutes. And then I just like I do the math. I'm like, well, what did I spend on the gas? And if I stayed overnight, I'm like, oh, I lost $400. Okay, well, good to know that I'm only negative $400 under versus staying at home and like doing a podcast. Like at a certain point, it's like you just have to find a way to monetize something so you can like fucking justify it. Like that is what's kind of the point I'm at now, where I'm like, I love doing it, but if it's gonna just be a thing where I'm spending my money, like that fucking sign that you'll see next week, that is like 7 gigs.
Really?
It was $350 for that sign. It lights up. You'll see it next week, guys. It's a great sign.
Yeah.
And in my head, I'm like, that's what's holding the podcast back. There's not a big neon glowing thing. It is sick. It is sick. I turned it on last night. My wife was like, holy fuck, that looks cool.
Yeah.
So I'm excited.
On this black wall? Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's why we painted. I had a guy fucking paint the wall.
It looks sharp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I spent $200 on that. So in reality, it's $550.
That's clean lines, even layers. Have you painted before or done construction or any house stuff?
I've painted. I'm not a construction guy, though. My sister's husband has a construction company, and I help him with my job.
Oh, like by finding best practices?
Mm-hmm. And like I signed him up for the branding and marketing for the company I work for, and he's getting work off of it.
Sweet.
It's good. It's part of my sales rap. As I go, I sign my own fucking family up for this, and I show him I share a screen, and I'm like, here's Cody. When I signed him up, he was doing drugs and sad, and now he's vacationing in Hawaii.
A loser comedian brother-in-law.
I start to get really sad about it. No, I do use him as like, especially if I'm talking to like a new business, because he was a new business when we signed him up. I'm like, this is where he's gotten in 2 years. He advertises on his profile how many jobs he's getting. And I'm like, would you feel good about that many jobs in 2 years from now? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, great. Give me your credit card.
Let's go.
That'll be $10,000 up front.
What do you do for fun? I don't really know much about your day-to-day.
That's a great question. My nephew asked me that recently. They were like, what's your hobby? And I was like, I have no hobbies. I work, I do comedy, and then once a month, I remember to kiss my wife and like try to watch a show with her or like spend time. I don't know. I need a hobby. We just got
you? I feel like recovering from the day is a hobby.
Well, do you know what we just got? We just got a record player. Ooh. And I'm a little worried because I am a music guy.
Yeah.
That I'm going to start buying 1 million fucking records.
Well, you will, but is it because you like the improved quality?
I like the experience. I miss this with how Spotify is now of like
full
putting on a fucking record.
Yeah.
Like I still like my, I love Midtown, Blink-182 with their reunion, their new album. Have you listened to it?
Started to, yeah.
It's so fucking good. But like I've already talked about it like the last 4 episodes. I can't stop listening.
Plus the flow of it. I think I turned it on a long drive and got most of the way through it. But yeah,
it's just a lot of it's like nostalgia overload, to be honest. But no, but just like my childhood. I was in a band for a little bit when I was in high school.
You were.
I was
drummer,
lead singer, and not good. I know nothing about music.
Still
it was awesome.
Confidence cover that we were talking about.
It was awesome. We were not good, but it was fun.
Sure, you looked cool as fuck.
The real thing that was awesome was like going with people in my band to Tower Records after school and buying like All Killer, No Filler, Sum 41 and listening to it in the car and being like, holy fucking shit.
This could be us!
And then going back to my friend's house and writing the exact same song and being like, we wrote a song. It's literally the same music. So yeah, like those memories. And like, I think with the record player, it's like, I want to like, this room's kind of a mess right now, but I want to set it up so I can like hang in here and put on a fucking record, invite a friend over and be like, here, hey, check out a record, put whatever you want on. Let's fucking hang out. Yeah. Like that. I think that's going to be my hobby.
Cool. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a great centerpiece.
It is.
Yeah.
We got it for $50.
Whoa.
The record player.
From where?
Like my wife found it on like Craigslist or something. Then we had to meet a guy in a parking lot.
That's how you know
she brought me. She was worried it was going to be bad. And he was a creep.
She's smart. She's petite.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good move.
I haven't bought stuff off Craigslist in a long time, but I used to love doing it, do it all the time, and I was such an idiot. And I thought I was getting smarter about my safety, which is probably the first move towards being much more unsafe. But I was buying this typewriter for like an art project, and this thing is like 40 pounds, very heavy for like a block of metal. And I go to pick it up from this guy at night, and he didn't bring it out with him. He's like, you want to come see it? And I was like, no, you bring it out here. And I'm like, in my head, oh, you're smart. You didn't go into his place. Like, good on you, Max. And then I just kind of like, as I see him walking towards me with this giant thing, I'm like, I just asked him to bring the murder weapon closer.
What was the item?
Typewriter.
A typewriter. Okay.
Yeah.
You're like, it was a big thing of chloroform. I wanted to find online.
Rags included.
Oh my God. Yeah, I think Craigslist is the creepiest of all the ways to do that, because you can just do Etsy and they'll just ship it to you, or you can do the shitty thing and go on Amazon and get whatever you want the day you ask for it.
I canceled my Prime so that I would make an effort to do that less and just like get it really in a store if I have to.
Yeah, well, yes, I do that too. And in my head, every time I'm like, I'm just going to go to Best Buy and find it. And then I go to Best Buy and they're like, we're out. And I'm like, fuck.
You're
me.
like, Jeff Bezos, I'm going back to you.
Yeah,
like
man.
a tail between my legs.
It's so hard to, I mean, also it's like the second you're like, you want to do anything slightly more ethically, someone goes, when you do that, a dolphin dies in the Philippines, and you're like, God, there's no fucking point.
Isn't that the whole like do your own research conundrum though, where you're like, look, I think I'm saving water by running the dishwasher instead of hand washing, and then someone's going to come up and tell me an alternate fact, and it's like, how do I even know? Or I'm spending this much electricity to run the dishwasher, so now that's canceling out the effect, or whatever it is. It's like, we try to do good.
It really does all even out. Like, even if you're like a pacifist vegan, like I have a buddy who's a pacifist, and I would be like, what if someone's going to kill your kid? And he's like, I would show them the way of, and he sticks to it. He's like, I'm a pacifist. And I'm like, okay. And so in my head, I'm like, okay, that's a little bit less aggression in the world because he's like that. But then he's also the most passive aggressive person I've ever known in my life. So the aggression doesn't really go anywhere. It just dissipates
Net
into
zero.
other forms.
Yeah.
And that's what, like, with the ethical thing you're trying to do, there's almost always someone to be like, if you do the research, you would find out. And you're like, well, then fuck it. I guess I'll just have a burger and then I'll jerk off in the bathroom. Like, there's no point ever to trying to be a better person.
I still think we're just wasting our willpower by trying. We should just let it go.
Well, my wife and I have like talked about like if we're gonna have kids, would we like adopt or whatever? And then like just doing like a 5-second Google search on adoption, you're like, oh, 98% of people doing it are doing it in an unethical way that actually hurts or whatever.
Whoa.
I don't want to get into it because it's weird, but like even stuff like that, where just in my head I was like, anybody doing that, it's a great, awesome thing.
Oh, you mean because the people putting them up are doing it for some sort of benefit that cancels out you trying to do good of housing a child who doesn't have a parent. Yeah.
Or they're like tricking the mom into signing something that she doesn't really understand. It's like that kind of shit. And then my wife is like driven to be an ethical person, so she will find the actual ethical thing to do. And it's always the least fun. No, there's no benefit. There's no photo to take and put on Instagram. Like, you're just like, she's like,
we're good people.
What was the one she did where it was like some cause we were looking to? I was like, where does the money really fucking go? And we went on the little search together, and we found out that the actual way to help like refugees in the Congo is to like go clean a bathroom somewhere in Compton. Like it was like we followed the trail of where the actual thing needs to happen.
Yeah.
That you get no credit, would help people.
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't want to go clean a toilet. That's a lot of it. A lot of the stuff is like finding a good organization and offering to do the jobs that they struggle to pay people to do.
Right.
Go be a dish cleaner.
Because that's where the money is ultimately going. Yeah.
Yeah. Who's the person actually doing something? What's the bullshit they don't have time for?
Yeah.
Go offer to do that for 8 hours a week.
Yeah.
Yeah. And most people are like, I'll just post a black square and be done with it.
Yeah.
So it's like you have to like, I don't know. I would never even think to do the research. My wife is a better person than I am. So
But then I would hope that, like, can't we structure it so if someone chooses, like, I don't want to do that job, but I want it to be done, so I'm going to, like, set aside a portion of my income to support that those organizations pay people well to do that?
that's what I thought. I'm sure, yes. By the way, everything I'm saying, don't listen to it. If you're actually trying to
Like, if
decide
you're
on this.
looking on Indeed.com, you're like, I need a job. Hey, that pays $20 an hour to clean some toilets, but I have dignity because it's actually paying me well for a nonprofit.
For
like,
St. Jude's.
Yeah.
But like, I think what my experience is. Do you need to go?
Speaking
All right,
of
I'm gonna
toilet, let him out.
You need to go to the bathroom? Tell
Yeah. His face. Does he have a doggy door? Or do you have to take him out?
My wife will take him. I thought he already went, though. I think he went at 4.
He's not allowed to go more than once? Or does he have a pretty consistent schedule?
No, dogs need schedules. They're happier. So we take him in the morning, take him at 4, then we take him for a nighttime walk.
And he just knows those are the times
He just
that are
knows
coming around.
those are the times. Although, yesterday he almost shit himself at noon, and I had to take him 4 times. Because sometimes he'll, like, when I take him out, he'll eat like a fucking zesty pizza that's on the ground, and then he'll just be shitting his brains out for the next.
Poor guy.
One of my favorite stories, the first time we got him, is or the first time when we got him.
Glad you got
when
that.
we got
I let
him.
it pass by.
And we also we did go, like, my wife did the research, so we went to like the fucking place where they're about to kill the dog, and we're like, no. So we
him from the
snatched
jaws.
him from the jaws of death, and we bring him home. And I guess, like, I came home and gave him a full banana. You're not supposed to do that because way too much potassium for their little dog bodies. Like 1/3 of a banana to them is like eating 2 bananas for a person. Wow. So I gave him a whole banana, which is like 6 bananas for him. And then that night he like wakes us up. He doesn't really bark, but he's like, arr, arr. He's like panicking. I take him outside. He fucking shits like a full banana. I'm like, oh my God. And not even processed. Like, it's just a banana lying in a thing of poop. Like, he just it just went straight through him like an x-ray machine where you see the thing. And then the next morning I'm like, wow, don't give the dog full bananas. And my wife goes, did you give him a banana yesterday? I was like, yeah. She's like, I did too. I was like, what time? It was like 30 minutes. It was like 30 minutes before I gave him a banana. She gave him a full banana and fucking left. So that's like the equivalent of 12 bananas. Could you imagine, like if you're hanging out with a person and he just quietly starts eating 12 bananas, like what his bowel movement would look like?
Also, so there's like a ton of unspoken things you're just supposed to know about dogs' digestion and like things you can't. That people seem shocked when you don't know. Like, you fed them a blueberry, like just things that don't seem to be.
I don't know how
I
don't know how the fuck anything ever happened in the 80s before we had Google. Because we'll be hanging out with the dog and I'm eating like a blueberry. The dog's begging.
Is it a blueberry or a grape? Now I'm wondering.
Whatever it is. Let's just say it's a blueberry.
Sure.
And I go like, okay, yeah, here's a blueberry. And then maybe like it's a fruit salad and there's like a kiwi in there too. And I'll be about to do a kiwi and then I'll go, maybe I should Google it first. And Google will say like, if your dog looks at a kiwi, his skin will turn inside out and he'll die in front of you. And you're like,
20 years ago, would have tossed it to him.
How the fuck was every animal? How did every dog not die from kiwi or whatever the fuck? It's not just chocolate. There's multiple things that will kill your dog that are mixed in with other things that your dog can eat all the time.
But also people seem to know
crazy.
something about bananas that I don't, because I will put away bananas like nothing, especially if I don't have other options. I'm like, well, this is a safe snack till I can get to better options, fill my stomach. So yeah, I could eat maybe 3 and someone will be like, whoa, that's a lot of banana. I'm like, I don't have another
You'll go
option
3
right
bananas in a day?
I'll go, what? or like in a sitting, if I need to just fill my stomach.
3 full bananas?
But what is it about bananas that I don't know? Is there a potassium overload risk?
You're 3 bananas in a sitting is a lot.
Is it a ton of fiber? What?
I think it's potassium.
I thought people were just making fun of my taste to be able to eat so much of the same thing. But what is there a potassium overdose?
I mean, I don't know.
Johns Hopkins is going to be so disappointed in me.
There was a time where I went to the doctor. This is so weird to say, but like I would have sex and then I would get a cramp in my foot and I'd be like, "What the fuck is that?" And it would be really painful. Like I felt like someone was stabbing me in the bottom of my foot. And I went to my doctor and he was like, "You need to eat more bananas."
Yeah.
And like I did that,
muscle cramps.
And yeah, you know what? My fucking sex foot pain has completely gone away.
I'm so glad you got athletic medical advice for that.
But that's also, I mean, look, I'm not putting away 3 in a sitting, which is one of the crazier things mentioned on the pod.
I don't know if it could relieve cramps. I don't think I'd be chewing Tylenol right now. What if it was just all it took was a banana? What if bros for years were right? She just needs a good banana.
That's all it is.
Oh, she's on her period. Well, I bet just one good banana shoved up there would really just make everything better.
How the fuck did we start talking about my dog shitting a banana? I don't remember what got us onto this. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say, but I was like, I should tell the
time of your dog having to pee.
Yeah,
because like I peed before I left the house on my way to this podcast. I was defending your dog's right to pee freely.
Oh, whenever he wants.
I peed right before the podcast started, and now I'm sitting here having to pee.
You drank a full thing of water. Do you ever look at what they tell you to drink water-wise? Like the recommendation for how much water you should drink?
Like 8 ounces. How many? Wait, no, I don't know.
It's insane. It's like 30 of those.
No, because this would be 32 ounces.
Look, it's one of those numbers. You know, like when they tell you the number of spiders you eat while you're sleeping?
Yeah.
It's like you eat 30 spiders a night. And you're just like, how the fuck is that possible?
Right.
It's the same feeling when they tell you how much water you should drink. You always go, nobody drinks that much fucking...
Or you do, but you got to be in civilization or so far out of civilization that you can hit the bathroom twice an hour, because I'm pretty much there, and I don't think my kidneys appreciate it.
Is it bad for your kidneys to pee a lot?
I don't think... Well, obviously it's bad for your kidneys to not drink enough water.
Yes,
but
I know that.
wonder if overloading them gives them too much to filter out, or if it just flushes them nicely.
I would have assumed that...
Doctors, please comment.
My understanding on water is that it is probably very hard to drink too much water.
Except for then someone will say something about when you do, it kills you. You can drink so much water that it kills you.
But then you go one like thimble over this amount.
I don't know.
And it's like feeding a dog a blueberry, like just dead.
Hits your brain. I don't know.
That's
the dumb shit that gets circulated. People know the fun fact, but they don't know the stuff behind it to explain it to you.
This is what's hard about
fear.
This is what's hard about self-research. This is why I just listen to the Joe Rogan Experience and take everything that he says.
Inner spirit, yeah. To Joe.
Thanks, Joe.
Big J.
Appreciate it. We should wrap up relatively soon. It's not a hard out at an hour, but you said you have to pee. So
that's just, if I ever get any sort of like incredibly important like talk show guest visiting, I hope that's not how they end it, where they're just like, you need to get out of here because you said you had to pee, right? I'll be like, this was my 5 minutes on Fallon. No, you said you had to go. Bye.
Yeah. Look, if that would not be this, you having to pee and ending the podcast would not be the most humiliating thing that's happened to a guest.
The worst way it's ended?
No, I had so again, Brad Stoll.
Bringing it all around.
Why the fuck am I bringing up Brad?
Call back.
Brad's my friend. He moved to New York recently, and I bring him up on every podcast. Clearly, I'm missing him.
Yeah.
So he came on the podcast, and he was like, "Can I use the bathroom real quick?" It was like we're 50 minutes in. I'm like, we have like 10 minutes left. Yeah, I guess use the bathroom real quick. And I used to do solo episodes of the podcast. I still do. So I was like, I'll just talk for a little bit while he's in the bathroom. He fucking took a shit. And he's right here. That's the toilet's
Were
right
you
there.
just like, talk real loud?
I couldn't hear him, but he was gone for like 15 minutes. When he came back, I was like, dude, did you shit? Like,
could you
I told you I was still going to record. He's like, why didn't you stop? I'm like, well, now it's fucking staying on.
Now it has
There's
to.
an episode where he leaves, takes a dump, and comes back, and then he plugs his fucking shows at Comedy Chateau.
Okay, I feel better.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I don't know.
Let's go
what
to
it
New
was.
York. We need to track him down.
Track him down?
Yeah, New York. Let's go.
We can find him. He's in Brooklyn.
No.
Yeah, it won't be that hard of a... I mean, you can track anybody down now. There's no more private detectives. We just are all on Instagram.
We're all our own private detectives.
Yeah,
doing our own research.
we're all in our pockets sending out beacons every 5 seconds.
They can find us.
Yes, they can. Maxi, I didn't introduce you in the podcast.
They'll know who I am by the
Who
laugh.
cares? It'll be in the tags.
That's right.
It's in the tags, all right?
It's all about the tags.
Do you have anything you want to plug, shows, stuff like that? Where can people find you, support you?
You can follow me on Instagram at MaddMaxi, MaddMaxi. That's the best way to find out what I'm up to and, be a friend.
Be a friend. This is super fun. You're gonna come back at a different date.
Once your subscribers answer a few of my questions in the comments, like the kidney
questions?
thing,
Okay.
the kidney water thing, then I'll be back once I know I can get something out of this.
Yeah, that's fair. I do get comments, so that there will be comments on stuff, but a lot of them are going to be like, "This guy sucks." It's those types of comments.
Great, I can't wait. I'll be one of them. Are we on a show together soon?
Are we?
We're not.
I don't know. I just booked Edelman's show.
You mean you got onto it?
The fancy one.
Fuck yeah! When's that?
I have no idea.
Plug yourself.
At some point.
plug yourself.
Yeah. You guys.
It'll be.
They know where to find me. You go to erickhellwig.com and you blow your brains out.
Good wrap up.
They know where to find me. I think I usually play a thing up front that says where to find me.
Oh, sweet.
I talk. What I do, we'll go after this. What I do now.
He's watching me bounce in my chair.
He's like,
I try not to laugh too hard.
No, it's so hard. I'm very funny. So, no, I do a thing where in the beginning of the show, I read comments from people and I shit on them.
Nice.
And I'm trying to do that to encourage more people to comment.
Yes, but they'll be like, "He talking about me."
But I think what it's doing is it's encouraging people to write shitty comments.
Yeah.
So it's like I'm kind of getting a little bit of I'm reaping what I sow. You have to pee. Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks for having me, Eric.
See you later.